When you think about faith, things like clean parks, fair laws, and honest leaders might not be the first things that come to mind. It can feel like two totally separate worlds, right? But there's this powerful and frankly often overlooked call to engage with the very systems that shape our daily lives. So let's explore that connection.
Yeah, really. What does faith have to do with the nitty-gritty stuff like taxes, roads, and all the rules we live by? On the surface, it might seem like not much. But if you dig just a little deeper, you find this really consistent theme of justice, of stewardship, and of caring for the community. And that has everything to do with how our world is run. All right, to really get this connection, we have to start by asking, what's the whole point of governance from a spiritual viewpoint? It's not just about who has power, it's about having a purpose.
First things first, let's get on the same page. When we say good governance, we're not just talking about politics. What we mean is the fair, accountable, and transparent management of everything we share, from our tax money to our national parks. It's about making sure everyone has a voice and that leaders are held responsible.
A key starting point for this whole discussion is this famous passage from Romans. Basically says that authority is established by God to keep things in order. Now that suggests a pretty clear-cut duty to respect the system. But what happens when that system goes wrong? When it becomes unjust?
Because here's the other side of the coin. There's another equally powerful mandate to stand up and challenge injustice. Jesus himself did it all the time. He consistently confronted corrupt authority. So this creates this incredible tension, right? How do you respect a system while also working your hardest to fix its biggest flaws? That's the real question we're wrestling with.
So how does this tension actually play out in the real world today? Let's take a look at an organization called Transbiblica, which is trying to navigate this exact challenge right now.
You see, their goal isn't just about getting better policies passed. It's something much, much deeper. Their vision is a world where every single person can truly flourish. They see good governance not as the end goal, but as the pathway to get there, a pathway to human and, just as importantly, ecological well-being.
And this is where it gets really, really real. Poor governance isn't some abstract idea. It means lost jobs. It means stolen opportunities, and it has an absolutely devastating environmental cost. When accountability breaks down, our forests, our rivers, and the very air we breathe are often the first things to suffer, and that affects the health of every single person in a community.
Now, a big vision is amazing, but it's pretty meaningless without a practical plan. So how does Transbiblica actually turn this big idea into action on the ground? Well, they use a simple three-part strategy.
Their whole strategy is like a powerful ripple effect. It all starts by coaching young leaders, giving them skills rooted in integrity. Then it moves to facilitating action right there in local communities. And finally, it multiplies that impact by partnering with other agencies. It's all about starting small and building outwards.
And who's the real engine for all this change? It's young people. The whole idea is to equip them to move beyond the four walls of the church and step right into their communities, ready to talk with leaders and help solve real local problems.
And this is what that actually looks like in practice. We're not just talking about protesting. These are practical, powerful steps. They're meeting with local officials, they're helping their neighbors figure out how to access government programs, they're even creating simple tools like a directory of local services, just so no one falls through the cracks. This is what grassroots change looks like.
Okay, now it's really easy to look at these local actions and think, well, that's small. But they are all part of a much, much bigger story. Let's zoom out for a second and see how these grassroots efforts connect to the global stage.
16. Remember this number. This is Goal 16 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, a massive global commitment that countries all over the world have signed on to. So what is this goal all about?
Its whole purpose is exactly what we've been talking about. So when a youth group speaks up for a cleaner park or pushes a local factory to be transparent about its environmental impact, they aren't just acting locally. They are actively contributing to a shared global mission. It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
And this kind of work is nothing new. It's part of a legacy that stretches back centuries. From Jesus challenging corrupt systems to pioneers like William Carey, who empowered entire communities with information, today's young activists are simply the next chapter in a very long story of faith in action.
So this all leads us to the most important question of all. We've talked about the what and the why, but what about you? How does any of this connect to your life, right here, right now?
This is really the challenge for every single one of us. It's one thing to know about the problems, It's something else entirely to actually be part of the solution. So, are you ready to help build a more just, a more sustainable community right where you live?
And please, remember this, no action is too small. Joining a river cleanup, asking a tough question at a town hall meeting, even just pushing for better recycling services in your neighborhood, every single effort is like a thread in a huge global tapestry of change. It's all creating a healthier society and a healthier planet.
So the invitation is simple. Join in. Let's take up this call together and start building a more just, more sustainable, and, well, a better world for every single one of us.